and tonight we're going to be doing a bunch of live streams. Turn it down. Okay, guys, you hear stuff in the background. You know, the CFR headquarters is always busy. Okay, so we're going to give you the news and stuff about the war on the Newlands. So, it's looking bright. It's going to take a while, I see. All the countries involved. So, the communists, they thoroughly hold the eastern portion of the planet of Newlands. But there is hope. Jarians have reestablished a capital at New Califan, and a thorough line is being held at the DMZ zone between what used to be Feria when it colonized the planet and Jarian border. Minor pushes and offensives have been made, and we've been gaining some ground. But I highly doubt the war is going to be over by the end of this year. It should be quite some time. Right now, though, the rebels have made an offensive. They've besieged the city of Inverary, but it's unlikely that they'll win right now. We're using it to funnel and drain their forces, drain their resources, in the hopes that we can make an offensive somewhere else on the front. Jarius already began to push its factories and all its resource production to overdrive, as it's bringing more men from the colonies, more and more, to fund the war, more resources, building more ships with their main fleet yards and the bulk of their fleet having been taken by the communists. But any problems they have with resources, there's a Lend-Lease going on, so Fury is giving resources. They're helping. And Furian troops are meeting on the front, are helping them on the front lines. So Jarian forces aren't having to take the full effect. Now this is starting to hemorrhage money for both of us, because it's almost been decades of fighting, almost a century of constant conflict for humanity. Honestly, it is. With the war on Aldania only barely coming to an end, a couple years before this happening. Well, more or less it ended like right before it, so honestly, not even that long. That's not to say that all fighting's done. The communist leaders were slain, and so now there are just rebel groups in the forest fighting. It's clear that that's not going to be over for a while. And before that, it had been almost a century of constant fighting. Honestly, it's not looking. Our hopes are not really that high for this incoming century in the CFR and Jaria. It's just going to be another depressing century of conflict. But with everything, we're always developing new weapons to fight, and so we can look forward to that. When we finally find someone who is worthy of a fight, we will be pretty strong from all this. But there is some hope. Fury and Jerry is attempting to get back on the silver and the gold standard, where our coins are being issued. They're made of noble metals. The mark is still the currency, but it's issued on rare and rare occasions by the Furian government. I don't have a lot of information about Jarian coinage, but we might be able to get it in a moment whenever Gregor's back. I can tell you about Furian coinage, though, right now. So, pretty much we're going to put names of the different prophets, kings, and whatnot. Local leaders, churches, God, Jesus, all that's going to be on coins, inscribed on them. They'll come in a wide range of purity and denominations. So, since a gold block is worth 20, a pure gold piece is worth 20. Half. If it says 1/2, that means it's half. So it could be debased with tin, or not tin, but lead and mercury and whatnot. And so it'll be like 1/4, 1/5, 1/2, 1/10, 1,000th. I mean, not that it will get actually that far, unless we're minting mills or coals or whatever. We're going back with these coins to old Furian names. So we have the fire, which is anything 1 and up. So it'll be 20 fires, or a double fire, or a decima fire. There's just a bunch of names, and we're going to have to do it. We're working on it. And then, you have embers and coals and whatnot as the old Furian currencies. And since a lot of places, as long as they remain with the metal standards of stating the purity on them, and each purity is worth so much, we're going to let them do it. So the Central Islands are actually in line to get money. Well, silver. Different metals, so they can issue a bunch of coins named after Greek and Roman and whatnot coins. So drachma, drachmae, denarius, assis, obols, a stater, all that good stuff. Sorry for that. It's on its way. That's going to take a while. There's not a lot of silver and gold left in Furia, so we're going to have to import it. And everything from different provinces being exported into Furia. Greg, are you back? Okay. So, anything else? So, I talked about the Siege of Inverary. I talked about how we're slowly gaining ground, but it's mostly just being held. I talked about moving everything to New Caliphate. Yeah, the reinforcing of the DMZ. Maybe we can talk about the all the refugees at the that are being camped out.
Someone stole a frigate.
Someone's stolen a frigate. This is some interesting news.
A singular frigate, and we don't think it was in the communists.
So, like, is this thing? What do you mean by stolen? Was it stolen out of the hangar? Or, like, was it stolen? Like, it just disappeared. Like, out on a mission, out in space, on the edge of space. What?
It was to a colony. It was like a cargo ship, and it had like a lot of tanks and artillery. Pretty big ship, and it just disappeared out of the blue.
So, like, is this pirates or anything?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, like, I know that.
I have no idea.
A couple years ago in our time and a couple centuries ago in Furian time, there had been a pirate crisis. Now, this doesn't necessarily for all of Fury, just a certain couple systems. Now, we dealt with that pretty quickly, guys. But, now, was this within inner Jaria, or was this, like, on the outer rim of Jaria? Like, on the verge of unexplored space? What? This was inner Jaria. Interesting. So, I don't know what could have happened there. We're going to have to... I'm going to this up. I mean, I'm going to put some resource onto figuring this out. Who knows, guys, what it will turn out to be.
We lost a good 20 artillery, 5 tanks, a whole bunch of weapons, and there's a crew of 13 on that ship.
That's not good. That really could have helped us bolster our lines on Newlands. After we're done here, I'm giving the coordinates for that and the system name and whatnot. And I'm going to be sure to send, what was the name of the ship? We have a ship that hasn't been used in a while. I think it's called CSS Saliki Krieger. And I think we're going to put that on it now. It's kind of an outdated ship. But we have been doing some repairs to it. It's looking nice and spiffy, guys. So up to battle standards. So we'll get to that. What else? What other news do we have, guys? Other than Furian coins, and Fury is trying to expand eastwards and the conquest of more Hadal tribes. Who knows, guys? That's all we have for tonight, guys. I'm sure we'll bring you more videos as we plan them. Stuff about Slovenia's upcoming. We're going to be really talking about their history. Talking about, I know how we gave you the climate change video, guys. I'm going to tell you guys about the effects of nuclear warfare. All that, which is going to be really interesting. Since Furia, the entire planet didn't get destroyed, right? We all know that by the lore. No one ever really touched Furia. But there was a point when Furia was pretty based with weapons. Everyone was threatening each other with atomic weapons. And we're also might go into some back history. I know we have some vague history about what happened prior to Furia's invasion of Savia, on Richmond and conquering it. We never really gave a backstory of that. I know we've messed around with talking about the migration of the Wyvernian tribes, right, guys? We're actually going to get more into that eventually. It's just, I'm so time pressed, guys. I can barely bring you this like every 2 or 3 weeks. And I promise I'm going to get on this, guys. See you guys next time.